Welcome to Material Matters Media, how material scarcity drives innovation. I'm Max O'Brien. Despite the current economic downturn, manufacturers are confronted with strongly increasing raw material prices. While aluminum is rather stable, copper is up 30% and more increases are on the way. As a result, manufacturers are substituting materials where they can. Developing new and cheaper materials are trying to make do entirely without the use of materials. What is bad news for all manufacturers is good news for ShareIt. With its online platform, any object can be shared within a community. It is the most rudimentary form of economics with the most advanced technology. The community members are connected and so are the things. Everybody knows at any time where the rented out article is and how it is doing. High material prices are fueling a boom in the entire segment of rental, lease and other material service providers. The three major companies that dominate the global market are LeaseMe, with 39% of market share, followed by ShareIt with 23%, and MarryMe, a company that binds its customers with a lifelong contract, with 15%. Material scarcity is encouraging people to hang on to their objects as long as possible. But what if things break? Wefix specializes in creative reparation. Wefix sells toolkits that enable you to fix the most commonly damaged household goods. The result is material savings, but above all, more beautiful products. Some things are just not worth fixing. Scraps is specialized in collecting worn-out material and assembles them into entirely new objects. One of the best-selling designs is the rag chair by Tahoe Remy of 1991, which consists of a pile of old rugs that is magnificently tied together to create a new chair. Initiated by Droog Up is a new economic model that increases the value of dead stock through redesign. An alternative to recycling and disposal, Up treats leftover goods as raw material for creative reinterpretation in order to bring leftovers back into circulation. Electronic waste is not just polluting, it contains precious metals too.
Microchips, processors, and connecting pins, known as gold fingers, contain seams of silver, gold and palladium. Urban Mining, a company that started only 2 years ago, making a profit mostly from exploiting used mobile phones.
One of Urban Mining's main clients is rare. The price of rare earth minerals has for the first time in history exceeded the price of diamonds. Rare uses the most precious metals mined from discarded phones and then give them back to you as jewelry. Fewer people than ever are members of political parties, but a growing number is only too happy to sign up for single-issue campaigns. The newest addition to the growing list of single-issue parties is the Material Party. Demanding more respect for materials, the crowds blocked streets in New York City last weekend. The juristic wing of the Material Party filed its first petition for lifting the ban on reusing animal cadavers. Businesses like Wild Goods are already prepared for a possible lift of the ban.
Christien Meindertsma, the owner of Wild Goods, makes wild bone china, containing 60% bone ash sourced from Veluwe, a nature reserve in the Netherlands.
Initiated by Justin McGuirk and promoted by the Material Party, the 10 kg polyblocks are soon to be introduced. The utopic scenario entails the rationing of 10 kg polyblocks that can be endlessly reprinted in 2 different shapes. If there are no roadblocks to the proposal, everyone will get a block, and the world might soon be released from all material pressure. A++ is a newly established institute that will rate all products according to the material use. Companies with poor ratings might have to fear waning consumer confidence along with economic consequences now that insurance taxes will be linked to the A++ rating system. Lifetime is introducing furniture that stays with you for your entire life and even follows you into nirvana. It is the only company that has thus achieved the A++ maximum material turnover rate of 1. As global living standards rise, so do the mountains of trash. Household waste is set to soar from 1.3 billion tons to 2.2 billion by 2025. As a reaction, a new generation of natural materials that do no harm are on the way. Anke Domaske is a biochemist and a fashion designer who creates dresses based on milk.
Milch, die sauer geworden ist. Wenn man die Molke abschöpft, dann bekommt man einen Quark und den trocknet man und dann hat man ein Eiweißpulver und dieses nutzen wir und geben das zusammen mit Wasser in eine Maschine und die funktioniert wie ein großer Fleischwolf. Und am Ende habe ich eine Lochplatte mit ganz vielen kleinen Löchern und dann wird die Masse durchgedrückt und dann bekomme ich meine Textilfaser, die ich dann einfach nur noch aufwickeln muss.
Hair Factory is demonstrating a more luxurious approach of using a natural material by producing jewelry out of human hair. At yesterday's jewelry fair in Antwerp, the new collection was presented in an astonishing show. Instead of using found biological material, it can also be grown. Suzanne Lee, CEO of BioCouture, explains the process of harvesting a material produced by bacteria.
Essentially, the recipe is using a green tea solution with a sugar solution inside that. And then you introduce a mother culture, which contains a mat, which is a symbiotic mix of yeast and bacteria. And that culture feeds on the sugar nutrient in the liquid. And the byproduct of that process is that the bacteria spin a thread of cellulose, bacterial cellulose. And all the threads stick together. They create a sort of non-woven mat, and that's what we're harvesting to use as a
Sometimes old news is relevant today. 15 years ago, Andreas Möller introduced fully biodegradable packaging for the flower industry. In fact, it is more than packaging. Made from pressed cow dung, it fertilizes as well. Another company reacting to the growing mountain of packaging waste is Eat Me, developed by Monosol's Vervest. This system offers an edible water-soluble film that can be used to make pre-portioned pouches. Oatmeal. Super hot chocolate pouches are wrapped in an edible film which conveniently dissolves in hotter, cold water, producing zero waste. High material prices stimulate unprecedented technological and biological experiments. For collecting material, Joshua Klein and the Tomorrow Lab try to use animal intelligence for human needs. In a TED Talk, he explains how it works.
Basically what happens is that we put this out in a field or someplace where there's lots of crows, and we put coins and peanuts all around the base of the machine, and crows eventually come by and eat the peanuts and get used to the machine being there. I think we should look a little bit larger. I think that crows can be trained to do other things. For example, why not train them to pick up garbage after stadium events or find expensive components from discarded electronics? We can find ways to interact with these other species that doesn't involve exterminating them, but involves finding an equilibrium with them that's a useful balance.
Shapeshifters offers a social media-like platform where anyone enjoy the reputational benefits of being a designer without ever making anything. People can post and share designs, which forever will stay virtual. Newly developed hologram technology makes the designs look as good as real. Wouldn't it be wonderful if cracks in the walls would just disappear? What sounds like a dream could become reality.
The problem we have with traditional concrete is that it cracks. And due to these cracks you get ingress of water and other aggressive chemicals. So what we do is we replace part of the aggregate material, so the stones, for hollow spheres which we fill with food and bacteria. we impregnate the aggregates and add that to the concrete mixture. Here we see an example of a piece of cracked concrete. You can see the crack and even a big hole. Here you can see that the bacteria have closed the crack and even the big hole completely filled with calcium carbonate.
With solar sinter Markus Kaiser is not healing but burning. More precisely, he is burning sand in the desert. Sand and sun are the main ingredients for his 3D printing device that can literally sinter out any shape of the Sahara sand. Electronic wallpaper will sharply reduce the usage of materials, while design possibilities increase to an unprecedented extent. Companies like eInterior are already prepared for these future challenges. The young startup company has just developed its first prototype for a room fully covered with the electronic wallpaper. Our oceans are turning into plastic soup. Scientists from CPLEX from the Scripps Institute of Oceanography at UC San Diego recently released a study showing that plastic in the ocean has increased 100-fold in the past 40 years. Sea Treasures, a young startup company, fishes plastic debris from the sea and turns it into products right on Feeboat. The company, by Studio Swine with Kieren Jones, hopes that in the future, this innovation will enable fishermen to make furniture from marine plastic rather than wood. Oceans are the final destination for most of our waste. Yet 40% of all our waste is generated at the very beginning of the production process. This fact inspired the new business Offcuts, which takes waste generated in the production process and reassembles it into wonderful designs. Offcuts obtains most of its material via Harvest Maps, an initiative by 2012 architects that allows anyone to tag waste. The database is constantly updated by peer groups all over the world. City sidewalks are covered with dirt. Some are taking advantage of it, etching advertisements right into the filth at your feet. looks into the dirt on reverse graffiti.
Advertising by cleaning, otherwise known as reverse graffiti. Ads for big brands like Range Rover, Sony, and Starbucks all over Europe. Backed from start to finish, the whole thing is done with water.
Here goes.
And that little ferocious water jet is strong enough to cut through steel, carving out a stencil for the clean ad.
And there's our sign.
In about 20 minutes, the logo for clothing company Patagonia is ready to hit the streets.
You know, I'm not using any harsh chemicals, just the water and the heat and the pressure.
That's enough to blast away months' worth of sidewalk grime to create the letters on a background of dirt.
Researchers found that more than 20 million American women are addicted to shopping. They can't help but spend money even when they don't have it.
I love this. I'm so glad we're here. This is the best ever. When I walk into a store, a salesperson would say, "What do you need?" And I just laugh. I don't need anything. Oh, all of these. All of these.
Oh my God. I want that in all 3 colors. This is what I like to stock up on most, dishwashing liquid.
How many dishes do you have to wash?
Your total is $2,056.06.
That's it?
Rescue is on its way. A Dutch game design company developed a detox computer game which can mimic any store. Play Shop might not save time, but it saves money, not to mention material waste. A similar attempt to reduce material consumption is provided by Waste Watchers. This institute organizes group sessions in which people learn how to outfit the houses without buying new products. Stairs can be discovered as fitness training tools, newspaper can be turned into wrapping paper, and books can be turned into lampshades. But what if we don't see things anymore because we don't remember what we have? Inventorizer is a new application that has the complete overview of our belongings. From the car till the last sock, everything is tracked in its database through our RFID tagging. Newly founded architecture company Ready-Made Architecture takes the stance that no new buildings are necessary since there is enough empty volume to be redesigned. As a result, very little construction material is needed. Ready-made architecture is simple and the results are astonishing. The Danish collaborative N55 developed Shop, which enables persons to exchange items without the use of money. At Shop, persons can borrow things, swap things, or take things they need for free. All items present at Shop are labeled with a color code that indicates their status: swap, take or borrow. All folks, thanks to watching Material Matters.
I want to talk to you. Excuse us, Joanne.
Of course.
Thank you.
Oh, he is it's just wonderful. I look at him and I can't believe it. I simply can't believe it.
I just want to say one word to you. Just one word.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Plastics.
Exactly how do you mean?
There's a great future in plastics. Think about it. Will you think about it?
Yes, I will.
Enough said. That's a deal.